Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises and double honors due to Yahweh by Hashem HaMashiach wa Malak Yahushai. Secondly, this is Brother Yardan, WFI Detroit, coming back at you with yet another video. Now, in this cold cut, we will be speaking about taking care of your body. It's very important being in this truth. We understand you have to remember the precepts, keep the commandments, pray, fast, study, perform your alms. Right? We understand that, but we also have to take care of our body. And there's a multitude of precepts that actually supports that. So we're going to bring it out. Let's get Sirach chapter 30, verse 15. Health and good state of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Right now, again, it's mighty that sisters know how to sew the fringes on the tassels and the garments. It's mighty that brothers can write out breakdowns. But are you taking care of your body as well? I mean, we have to become a perfect sacrifice for the Lord. We can't, have our cholesterol running through the roof. Neither can we just get out of breath and just, start panting and breathing on heavy, walking to the bathroom. That's not natural, right? Because when you become sluggish, that can turn into a spirit, right? Which is being slothful. But one way to counteract that is by staying in shape and taking care of your body. Verse 16. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life, or continuous sickness, right? A death is better, far better than dealing with some type of sickness due to you not being able to take care of the body in this vessel that the Most High allows you to have. Remember, nothing is yours in this life. You're really renting this body. And it'll behoove you to take care of it because the Lord gave it to you. This is a gift from the Lord. Why would you just abuse your body and destroy it and break it down? That in itself isn't loving the Lord. I mean, we can jump all the way down to verse 23. It says this: love thine own soul and comfort thy heart, or remove sorrow far from thee. For sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. And you have to love thine own soul, right? Not, the way that so-called white man thinks of loving yourself and the alphabet community. Not in that regards, but you have to love your own soul spiritually and according to the scriptures. How did our forefathers take care of themselves? Do you think they just sat on the ass and were just slothful and lazy and didn't want to move? I mean, our forefathers was warriors. And you can't be on a poor diet being a warrior. You can't swing your sword and you ain't do no exercise. You have to meet the Lord halfway there. You got to make some type of effort is what I'm saying. Proverbs 6:6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? A lot of people kind of sleep in. And, if you have a long day or a long week, whatever the case is, it may not be anything wrong with that necessarily. Like if you do it once a week or whatever the case. But if you do it consistently and you're missing out the free time, your leisure to actually move your body and stay in shape, and you're going to get jammed up because, again, not being active can turn into a spirit. It can actually turn into a spirit. Now you're slothful. Now you're sluggish. Now you don't want to read. Now you can't pray. And now you can't fast. All because you didn't want to be mobile. So, as my grandfather would always say, hey, everything's connected. Everything's connected. Matter of fact, let me grab this. Now, we know, of course, this is the ancient world and the Most High was dealing with man on another level. But nevertheless, we see how active our forefathers was when you read the scriptures. Here's one account in Judges. It's Judges 15 and 4. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes and took firebrands and turned tail to tail and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. This man caught 300 foxes. Let's see how fast a fox is. A fox is 31 miles an hour, runs 31 miles per hour, and a gray fox can run 42 miles per hour. Now, if you ask me, that's pretty fast. I mean, now the fastest anyone has ever ran, according to, Esau, is 27 miles. That's nowhere near 42. All right. But we see our forefather ran as fast. You think he could run? Now, of course, we know the Lord was dealing with him. The Lord was with him. But you can't be 500 pounds and just say, the Lord could have dealt with him. No. The Lord can do anything, but you got to be real. You got to be honest with yourself. You understand? You have to be honest with yourself. You have to exercise and be mobile. And of course, everything, has to be done decently in order. I'm not saying give your mind over to it, but the time that you have leisure, right? When you got done studying or reading, there's nothing wrong with going for a walk. When you get done fasting, there's nothing wrong with just eating fruits. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to have a big ass steak dinner with steak, eggs, fries, and an empanada and just BS when you get done fasting. It's more comely that you consume fruits afterwards. That's what your body needs. And that's another thing. You have to know what you need versus what you want. Your wants is wicked. A lot of people's wants are wicked. It's really what you need. And that's what you have to ask yourself. Is this what I want or what I need? Let's get another account. What did Daniel say? Did Daniel say, I want this or I need this? This is Daniel chapter 1. We're going to jump down verse 12. Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give pulse is seeds, vegetation. You understand? And let them give pulse to eat and water to drink. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenances of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consumed to them in this matter, and he consented to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenances appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and give them pulse. See, they was eating meat and wine. And what was our forefather Daniel doing? Eating pulse. When we go into it, this is a type of pulse. Lentils, beans, chickpeas, peas. All right, this is healthy for you. There's nothing wrong with this. And so what? I don't care if it tastes funny to you. That's the least of your concerns. So what if it tastes funny or you don't like the taste? Put some seasoning in it. Make it taste good. Mix something together. Because this is caring for your body. And this is love. It's love that your brother, your sister, perhaps your wife or husband is encouraging you to eat healthy. That's love. Because what's the results of not eating healthy? A multitude of diseases that can fall upon you. And what did the Lord say in Deuteronomy? Let's pull it out. Did he not say all these diseases will fall upon you that are not written in his book? This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuousness. Right? So, having gout, that's a plague. That's a sickness. That's a sore sickness. But we have the ability through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai to reverse the curses. We have that ability. And let me continue to read. Verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. People die from diabetes. That's a serious thing. People die from gangrene. People die from heart attacks, high cholesterols, strokes. What's the main cause of these things? Your poor habits in diet. Your poor diet. It's plain upon tables. That's what it is. We're going to get an account of our forefathers and how did they entreat a stranger? What did they give them? Did they give them a big ass fat meal? A fat ass meal with a burger and a milkshake? Now there's nothing wrong with eating a burger from time to time, but my point is this: they weren't just eating like pigs. This is Genesis 18:8. I mean, even Paul ate fish. You have to have a just balance in your diet. Genesis 18:8, and he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. See, so they ate milk, they drank milk, and had a little bit of calf, and that's beautiful. It's Proverbs 26:6. It's like at 26 and what do we want? 27 and 26. The lambs are for thy clothing, and the goats are the price of thy field. And thou shalt have goat's milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance of thy maidens. With that being said, it's good to have a proper consumption of certain milks. Not all milk, but certain milk. So there's so many precepts. There's so much to go into that, touches on the body. I mean, even this. Even goes into manners when you eat. Oh my goodness, it's so much. Time with fellas. Oh man, we're going to get all of this. Hey, let's get this. Oh my goodness, this whole chapter is mean. If thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much meat on it. You just, you rubbing your belly. Oh, that look good. That look good too. That does too. Oh, the chicken wing. He's just being a slob. Verse 13. Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than an eye? Therefore it weepeth upon every occasion. And see how this verse is just slapped in the middle of the meats and diets? Because man goes off by seeing certain things and lusting. That's how you go off. You see something you want, you covet it, and you're lusting. So this is deep. Everything goes back to the scriptures. Verse 14. Stretch not thine hand whithersoever it looketh, and thrust it not with him into the dish. You're not even saying, excuse me, just grabbing a damn chicken wing across the table. Your mind is bad. This is what happens when you don't have any self-control or self-discipline. You're just being a jerk. You turn into an asshole, excuse my French. Verse 15. Judge of thy neighbor by thyself, and be discreet in every point. Eat as it becometh a man those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated. Because you can get a bad name for that. You just eating too much, or you just not eating at all. It has to be a just balance. And it says, leave off first for manner's sake, and be not unsatiable, lest thou offend. Right? Let's go into that word unsatiable. This is unsatiable, right? And impossible to satisfy. Some men are impossible to satisfy when it comes to eating. They want to eat until they get full. You're not supposed to eat until you get full. That's what Esau said. You know why? Because Esau is a hedonist. Let's go into that word. Hedonist. A person who believes that the pursuit of pleasure is the most important things in life. That's the complete opposite of what's that? Being satisfied. You just continue to indulge your pleasures. Because what? You're impossible to satisfy. But you have to be satiable, right? If that's the proper word. You have to be the opposite of unsatiable. You have to learn how to be satisfied. And we'll get that in Philippians in a minute, but I want to finish this. Right, where Paul learned how to be content. But let's get this. It even says in verse 19, a very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind upon, it's like he went short upon his bed. So again, a very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured. You don't have to eat a big ass meal. It's not necessary, Ak. Stop it. You order pizza with your rib, and you left 2 pieces for her, and you ate the rest. Yo, I was hungry, baby. It was a long day. I'm a grown man. Chill out, brother. Chill out. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind upon his bed. Right? Kevin, catch your breath. And some people even get sleep apnea from that, or just trouble breathing really at night. Verse 20, sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. So if you can't sleep at night, what's the cause? You eating too much, brother. Or sister, I need a little midnight snack. Calm down. You gotta you gotta let it go. You don't need to eat. If anything, you can drink a little bit of water. Keep yourself hydrated. And if you do, eat some fruit. Keep yourself hydrated. Don't eat a big ass meal at 2:00 in the morning. So, this is deep. This is very deep. Health is in the scriptures. Taking care of your body is in the Bible. Even in wartime, we had drills. We had war drills. You think you could be out of shape performing and exercising in war drills? I mean, we had to march to war. So this is even a singers in 2nd Chronicles, they sang before the Lord and going to war. So in verse 19, a very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching and choler and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man. They are with an unsatisfied man. And if thou hast been forced to eat, I'm not sure what occasion, this may fall upon you, but peradventure, perhaps, if you're forced to eat, arise, go forth, vomit, and thou shalt have rest. So this is deep. This is beautiful. The Lord tells us how to take care of our body, our mind, our spirit, our people, our beast, The Lord tells us how to take care of everything. So I got some links I want to pull for Israel. So this is just one of many roots. One of many. One of many roots, right? This is ginger, for those who may not know. Right now, you can put it in a blender. I don't know, kind of just eat it raw. You know, it's a very, very good meal. I love ginger. One of my favorites. And it has a lot of benefits. And one of them is you can read the list yourself, but it alleviates your PMS systems, right? Relieves nausea and upset stomach, may help with cancer, reduces pain, healthier skin, weight loss. I gotta get some more. You know, I actually gotta get some more myself. I ran out. Right? Better digestion. Ginger helps speed up the digestion process and empty your stomach more quickly. Someone with digestive issues such as indignation, ulcers, constipation, and IBS might find relief by adding it into their regular diet. So if you're wondering why you're full of shit, I mean, you're not getting no ginger, brother. That's why. Improves immunity, right? I've heard that before. It's a beautiful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, right? And so on and so forth. Now you can read all of these on your own, but nevertheless, you understand that ginger root is very, very good for you. And it also says, for example, ginger increases serotonin and dopamine levels. This can reduce inflammation, which may cause depression. And, you know, we just read that in Sirach 30 and 23. Or it's like in 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself with thine own counsel. So perhaps you are afflicted. Perhaps your mind is heavy, which is another way of saying depressed. And what do? What's one of the things you can do? Now you can pray, of course. You can fast, of course. That's easy. We get that. Those are plain to Israel. I'm not knocking it. Never would I. But we're also just showing you through the precepts and through the scriptures how the Lord tells us that what? You can do what? Eat healthy. Even Esau would tell you that. Esau would tell you that and ginger is medicine. It's not just food. Certain foods is medicine for you. And even Esau would tell you that you can get depressed by eating too much junk food. But once you start to eat healthier, your mind becomes a lot more at ease. Your mind becomes alleviated. If you don't believe me, here's the precept. Sirach 38:4. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Was not water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? And you can make tea in this thing on another level. That's medicine. There's nothing wrong with making your own medicine. That's another way that you alleviate and suppress those bad thoughts and your depression. Because again, as it tells you, ginger increases serotonin and dopamine levels. Or you can read it yourself. Dopamine is the most notable involved in helping us feel pleasure as part of the brain's reward system, right? Freaking off, shopping, smelling cookies, baking in an oven. All these things can trigger dopamine release or a dopamine rush. So when you condition your body to eat healthier, that's a healthy dopamine. Freaking off all the time, you know, freaking off, shopping, smelling cookie baking in the oven. That shouldn't be your main source of dopamine. That's not healthy. Got a few more. Actually, I'm gonna close out with this. This Mark 1 and 6. Alvarez that Israel's been edified, and at least learned something new, right? Or feel encouraged to eat healthier, take care of the body. It's Mark 1 and 6. And John was clothed with camel's hair and with a girdle of a skin about his loins, and he did eat locusts and wild honey. That's protein, and honey is a natural sweetener. So just see how our forefathers ate. It's all throughout the scriptures when you look deep into it. So Alvarez, Israel may understand that you have to eat healthy in this thing. You have to. But with that, shalom.